It is July 1518. A lone woman steps into a narrow cobblestone street in Strasbourg and begins to dance. She doesn't stop. Within weeks, over 400 people join her in a frantic, involuntary trance. They dance until their feet bleed. They dance until their hearts stop. They dance to their deaths. Welcome to Case File Timeline. Today, we are opening the archives on one of history's most terrifying and bizarre medical anomalies, the dancing plague of 1518. How does a fatal contagion spread not through a virus, but through a physical action? By the end of this video, you will know the shocking chronological data behind the panic, the misguided 16th century medical interventions that made it worse, and the modern scientific theories that finally explain this deadly enigma. Our timeline begins on July 14th, 1518. According to historical city logs, a woman named Frau Trophia walked into a busy street and began to contort, twist, and dance. There was no music. Her face showed no joy, only exhaustion and terror. Records indicate she kept this up for between 4 to 6 days before collapsing. But the contagion had already been released. By the end of the first week, 34 others had joined her. By August, the number had exploded to over 400 victims. If we map this out on a modern epidemiological graph, the transmission rate mimics a highly infectious biological pathogen. But there were no physical symptoms of infection, only the uncontrollable urge to move. The city council was terrified. They consulted the local physicians, leading to one of the deadliest public health miscalculations in history. The medical consensus of the 16th century relied heavily on humoral theory, the belief that the human body was controlled by 4 distinct fluids. The doctor's official diagnosis? Hot blood. Their prescribed cure was deeply flawed. They believed the victims simply needed to dance the fever out of their systems. The city council actually hired musicians, cleared the guild halls, and built a massive wooden stage to facilitate the dancing. The strategy catastrophically backfired. The music and the stage acted as a psychological catalyst. The frantic, non-stop movement in the sweltering summer heat led to severe dehydration, strokes, and heart attacks. At the peak of the epidemic, chroniclers reported that up to 15 people were dying every single day. The city eventually banned public music and dancing, forcing the afflicted to seek spiritual healing at a mountaintop shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus. Only then did the timeline of deaths begin to drop. What does modern data analysis and toxicology tell us about the dancing plague? Today, scientists point to 2 primary theories. The first is ergotism. Ergot is a toxic mold that grows on damp rye, a staple of the 16th century peasant diet. Ingesting it causes hallucinations and severe muscle spasms, similar to LSD. The second, and most widely accepted theory, is mass psychogenic illness. Strasbourg in 1518 was ravaged by extreme famine, rampant disease, and oppressive taxation. The psychological trauma of the population had reached a breaking point, triggering a stress-induced mass hysteria. The dancing plague of 1518 remains a chilling reminder of how the human mind and body can break under the weight of an unforgiving era. Which theory do you believe? Was it toxic, moldy bread or a psychological break caused by extreme stress? Let me know your theory in the comments below. If you want to uncover more historical cold cases, hit that like button and subscribe to Case File Timeline.
Next time, we decode the biological timeline of the Poisoned Prince and history's first modern germ murder. Until then, remember, the past always leaves a pattern. Case file closed.